this has been a very active afternoon across the Buckeye State. And I am just doing a little test to make sure that this is working. So we're just doing a test to make sure this is working. And it seems like it is. So that is good news. All right. So as we get things started here, why don't we cover what is currently active across the Buckeye State, and then we'll even try to take a look back at what has already happened and what we could be looking at later this evening. Right now, as we're looking live, the strongest thunderstorm that we have is this thunderstorm that is currently across Scioto County. This storm just had a tornado warning on it, and it has expired. The tornado warning has expired, but let's take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning here. It is tagged tornado possible. So what that means is that it does have a history of producing a tornado. This is part of the same storm that moved through the Cincinnati metro area about an hour ago, bringing a tornado threat to the Cincinnati metro area. Thankfully, the tornado threat for Cincinnati has ended, but we are still looking at a very, very strong storm here across Scioto County, including the city of Portsmouth, and a tornado warning is still in effect for points into Kentucky. So that would be Lewis County in Kentucky until 5:30. So if we have anybody watching us from there. But again, the main concern at the moment is for this portion of the storm moving through Scioto County. The storm is moving very, very quickly and could spin up a tornado at any point. So that is why it is tagged tornado possible, and it's moving quickly as well. 55 miles per hour to the southeast with 60 mile per hour wind as the primary threat here. So that is what we are looking at the moment. And I will try to monitor comments as they come in. But I do appreciate everyone who is joining us here this afternoon. This severe thunderstorm warning also does extend into Jackson County. It is tagged tornado possible with 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And we also have a portion of that storm that is moving through Piketon right now here in Scioto County. So that is the strongest portion of the storm. I do anticipate the city of Portsmouth will be getting inundated with some very severe wind very soon. And again, we're going to be watching for some possible tornadoes along the line as well. Let me switch my radar over to wind velocity, and we do have the potential for some very severe wind. And this is for the western portion of Scioto County, including places like McDermott, Otway, Wamsley, and this is about to enter Portsmouth. So Portsmouth is really going to be slammed with wind, some of which could be greater than 60, possibly up to 70 miles per hour. That includes Lucasville as well. We do have some strong winds south of Piketon, near Stockdale in Pike County, and that will be moving into southern Jackson County as well, south of Jackson. So that's the wind threat right now. Why don't we take a look statewide? Because really this has been an impact all across our region today. And we still could have a few more thunderstorms this evening. I think the majority of the severe thunderstorms with wind and tornado threat is over, but we are still going to have some thunderstorms. In fact, I'm hearing rumbles of thunder here outside my house here in Columbus right now. I know it's been a tremendously dangerous day out there with severe thunderstorms moving through many of our major cities, including Cincinnati and Columbus. Right now in Columbus, we're looking at some light rain, but we still do have some lightning and thunder. Some heavier rain out near Newark. We also do have a flash flood warning for Pickaway, Fairfield, Hocking, Perry, Muskingum, Coshocton, Athens, Morgan, Washington, and all of those counties running until later this evening for several more hours. Unfortunately, my radar product has frozen here, so I'm going to take a moment to reset that. So give me a brief moment. And it looks like it's unfrozen. Very good. Okay. Out near Dayton, we're also tracking a few more storms. These are non-severe, but they're bringing some heavy rain, which we certainly don't need. And then down here in Cincinnati, we are really dealing with the leftover remnants of all of these storms with the flash flooding. This flash flood warning for most of Hamilton, Claremont, Warren, Clinton, Highland, and northern Brown County will run for 2 more hours. So there's still a serious flooding issue running through the Cincinnati metro area. And we are still tracking some strong storms back here in Indiana. These thunderstorms near Indiana could also impact the Buckeye State in the next couple of hours. I am hoping that our atmosphere is a little, what we call turned over, or the energy used up from these storms today. I'm hoping that's the case. But as we've seen across Indiana, they have been dealing with storms throughout the afternoon, and some severe storms have still popped up, including a tornado warning out here in Illinois. So we're going to be watching these storms as they head towards Ohio this evening. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a few more hours until 8 p.m. I wonder if, because of this development back here in Indiana, if this watch for most of central Ohio will be allowed to continue. And I do think it will be, because we are still probably not done completely yet. Although I do think the strongest storms have already come through. At least the most widespread portion of the storms. Why don't we take a look at the Cleveland area? We do have another strong storm impacting the Cleveland area right now. This is primarily in Lorain County, but we're also seeing some thunder and lightning and heavy rain near Strongsville, Olmsted Falls, Berea, right near Cleveland Airport. So there will be heavy rain there. And then there's some heavy rain out near Twinsburg, Richfield, Aurora, and a good portion of the Cleveland metro area. So this is a non-severe thunderstorm, but it could produce some minor flooding issues across Lorain County. Mansfield is quiet at the moment, but we'll be watching for a few isolated rumbles of thunder. We also have some heavy rain out here in Licking, Muskingum, and Fairfield and Perry counties, all of which are under flash flood warnings, which I do anticipate may get extended because of the heavy rain still ongoing. Not a lot of lightning, but there will be some occasional lightning with this storm. But yes, we do have a lot of flooding issues here across the area. In fact, I do want to go down here to Pickaway County, where we do have a considerable flash flood warning that will expire at 7 p.m. And what a considerable flash flood warning means is that we're not talking about just the dangers that come with rapidly rising water. We're also talking about very high water, many road closures. And of course, we do want to remind people to turn around and don't drown in these situations. That's the saying from the National Weather Service. That's essentially what we're looking at right now. If you wouldn't mind, give me 1 second to reply. I'm just getting some information coming in, so let me do that really quick. Alrighty. Let me see if I have any updates from our other Ohio News and Weather partners here. Okay, not at the moment, but again, a considerable flash flood warning for Pickaway, Fairfield, and Hocking counties until 7 p.m. this evening. The flooding threat will be ongoing. We also have strong thunderstorms down in Athens, causing some considerable flash flooding there as well. That includes the city of Athens. That flash flood warning will go on for really the next hour or two. All right, let's move back down to Portsmouth again, where we do have a very strong thunderstorm moving through Portsmouth at the moment. I do believe the wind moving through Portsmouth at this time is going to be very strong and very dangerous. And while we're looking at that, why don't we try to see if we can find some cameras from the area? I'm going to try to look to see if we have some ODOT cameras that will allow us to take a look at what's going on down there in Portsmouth. So, but the radar is looking quite impressive. Let's see if we have any updates from the National Weather Service. Still tornado possible, because this line of storms has had such a history of producing a tornado, or at least producing rotation. This is why it's still tagged tornado possible, and I really do think right here over Portsmouth right now, we do have some significant wind going on. Let me switch to velocity mode, and as we switch to velocity mode, we can certainly see the very, very strong wind moving through there. I would believe that we certainly have 60 to 70 mile per hour wind going through Portsmouth right now. And let's see if I can get some cameras in the area. Let's see what we have going on. We do have a camera from ODOT in Portsmouth. It's at State Route 852 at US 52. All right, it doesn't look too impressive at the moment, but we can try to add that to our stream. Give me a second as we do that. Let's see, window capture. All right, it's taking some time. All right, we want to do a window capture. Get that going. I apologize. The looking a little slow here. Okay, there we go. Let's fix this. Trying to get the view going here. All right. There's my face again, and we'll format the ODOT camera so it will look good on camera. All right. So we've got this ODOT camera. This is again near the Portsmouth area, State Route 852 at US 52. So that's right down here along the river. So a lot of rain, a lot of water, no flash flooding at this point right now. Looks like the trees are blowing in the wind a little bit because that severe line of wind is rolling through Portsmouth as we speak. So this is going to impact US 23 in Portsmouth, US 52 in Portsmouth, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds with any... I don't see any immediate rotation, but I do see... some very, very strong wind coming through the area. And this will also potentially be impacting Lawrence County, Ohio, and even Gallia County as well. So it's moving through Portsmouth at this moment and causing some significant issues there. All right, so that said, why don't we take a look back to some other spots where we have some flash flooding? And I want to look back here near Cincinnati, which was impacted heavily earlier this afternoon with some very severe thunderstorms. And as I go back toward the Cincinnati area, I'm going to try to look at some cameras because traffic is atrocious in the Cincinnati area right now. It is going to be a very tough commute home for a lot of people in the Cincinnati area. So let's take a look at this. This is a camera view. And I'll stretch it a little bit to make it look a little bit bigger. This is a quad camera view. And we are looking at 4 different locations near Norwood here. So we have a traffic backup. This is I-71 near Norwood at Smith Road. I believe that's either exit 6 or exit 5. No, exit 5 is Dana. So exit 6 is where the Smith Edwards exit there. Terrible traffic heading into downtown Cincinnati right now. Lots of issues there. Let's see if we can get some more cameras out of Cincinnati. Here we go. Here's Red Bank Road. This is just a few miles north. I think Red Bank is exit 9 in the Cincinnati Metro. All right, lots of traffic moving through there. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough commute home in the Cincinnati area as well. And I even want to look downtown, I-75, I-71 as well. There is a flash flood warning still ongoing in Cincinnati, so that's why I kind of want to take a look at how things are looking. This is a camera at the Western Hills Viaduct. So On the I-75 side, looks like we have a disabled vehicle, lots of traffic. It's still there's still water on the road. Not a lot of active rain. If I turn off the cameras, you can see the radar is actually clear in Cincinnati right now, but we still do have that flash flood warning for the next couple of hours. I am watching more storms back here in Indiana, and we do have this strong thunderstorm here as well. So this could be something to pay attention to later this evening. All right. So why don't we go back to our Portsmouth storm? That is the big deal at the moment. Severe wind and heavy rain coming through Portsmouth at the moment. Yeah, this is a big deal storm for a lot of folks here. 70-mile-per-hour wind moving right through Portsmouth at this time. And this does include, the severe thunderstorm warning on it does include Lawrence County. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to run for the next hour. It is tagged tornado possible, meaning that we could see a tornado spin up at any moment. So we're going to kind of keep with this one. And this is what we call a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. And I am not surprised by this because my radar was indicating that we could have 70-mile-per-hour winds, and the National Weather Service seems to agree. So let's see what the storm motion is on this severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts for Scioto and Lawrence County, and it's moving southeast at 50 miles per hour. All right, so it's moving southeast at 50. So you can see that really it's going to be moving into Lawrence County here quite soon. It's on top of Wheelersburg right now. There may even be a little bit of rotation near Wheelersburg at the moment. Right along US 52. Other impacted places will be Franklin Furnace, the little town of Lawrence that is in Lawrence County, South Point, and Huntington, West Virginia will have to be watching out for this as well. So that area, pretty populated. We may have some folks watching us from Huntington as well. I believe we had somebody comment in from Perry County. Perry County is still experiencing a good deal of heavy rain across the entire county. This is a flash flooding situation going on here for Perry County, near New Lexington and Somerset. And then it has been confirmed by rain gauges that some very heavy rain and ongoing flash flooding threats are still occurring. We also have flooding occurring near Buckeye Lake here in southern Licking County, along Route 70, Interstate 70, that is. And also some flooding going on here near Zanesville, a flood warning for Muskingum County there. We have flash flood and flood warnings for Athens County down toward Washington County as well. But the main severe weather threat is moving through Scioto County. And I even see a little hook on our radar here. Why don't we flip over to the Charleston, West Virginia radar? And on the Charleston radar, I want to look at velocity so we can see the high wind. I don't see any rotation. I guess if there is some weak rotation, it's here near Scioto Furnace and Lyra on your map here. As it enters Lawrence County. There may be some very weak rotation there, but this is primarily a damaging wind threat that's moving through Scioto County. We have reports, radar, or I should say this is radar indicated reports of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and I see it. We are certainly looking at wind gusts. The blue you see here. So you see Scioto County right here. It's in the center of your screen. The blue is indicating wind gusts potentially up toward, let me see if I can calculate it for you here. We're looking at 66 miles per hour. So yeah, actively causing damage here across Scioto County, and now moving into Lawrence County and even southern Jackson County as well. Just to kind of show you how potent this is, we still have several tornado warnings in Kentucky. We have there's basically a severe thunderstorm warning in Kentucky that is being called an extremely dangerous situation. Um, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that is called extremely dangerous situation with tornado like wind speeds. So that is down into Kentucky. That is past our viewing area, but it is very rare to see in big red words extremely dangerous situation with a severe thunderstorm warning. There are several tornado warnings stretching from about Grayson, Kentucky through Moorhead, Kentucky, down towards Winchester and Lexington, Kentucky. Some very damaging storms here. These are the same ones that moved through Cincinnati about 2 hours ago and are now still impacting portions of our viewing area with a tornado possible, considerable damage, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Lawrence County. And this is going to run until 6:30. So the severe thunderstorm warning that has prompted this is now leaving Scioto County. The strongest wind is heading out of Portsmouth. It's about to cross into Kentucky, but it's going to impact really Lawrence County, Ohio here very, very shortly. So Ironton, Ohio, you need to be in your safe spot. South Point, Ohio needs to be in a safe spot as well because this is going to be impacting Lawrence County, Ohio within minutes. I think South Point and Ironton are maybe 20 minutes away from it, with Ironton right there. But it's coming, and you may see some very dark, ominous clouds, especially if you're looking to your northwest. This is a serious situation going on there. So again, Lawrence County, a severe thunderstorm warning, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This is an upgrade from a regular severe thunderstorm warning, so it is a serious situation, and that'll be running until 6:30 p.m. So we'll stick with this for quite some time. Let me see if I have any updates on my end. Let's see here. No major updates on my end. Trying to see if we have any damage reports. Okay. No damage reports just yet. It does look like all of these tornado warnings and the extremely dangerous severe thunderstorm warning are out of our viewing area. It still matters if you know somebody who lives in northeastern Kentucky, like Moorhead and Stanton, Mount Sterling, Kentucky. This is a really, really bad situation going on there. What I'm looking at though is 70-mile-per-hour wind threat for portions of eastern Scioto and almost all of Lawrence County at this time. All right, so as that moves into Lawrence County, Ironton and South Point, you're about 10 to 20 minutes away. Huntington, West Virginia, probably about 20 minutes away from this. This is now crossing into Lawrence County right now. We also have some very heavy rain and a flooding potential with this up towards Rio Grande. That's in Gallia County, Gallipolis. We'll be seeing that here as well. Southern Jackson County, Oak Hill, US 35. Lots of heavy rain there. Not as much of a wind threat up in that portion of the storm, but a good portion of Lawrence County will be seeing that 70-mile-per-hour wind threat. All right, why don't we do a big picture look right now, since we've had several questions. We did have a question about the Youngstown area, Poland, Ohio. I don't believe we're going to see much of a severe weather threat there. There are some heavy showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder stretching from Strongsville to Brunswick, Hudson, across Portage County. That may roll into the Mahoning Valley, but I don't see any tornado or severe wind threat with this. This apparently will just be some heavy rain, maybe some thunder and lightning with that storm there. All right. Back towards Mansfield, just some light rain at this time. Not a huge problem. let me switch back over to the Wilmington, Ohio radar, and we can see we have a lot of heavy rain across Muskingum and Perry County. Flash flooding is certainly a threat here. So this could be a serious situation with flash flooding. We've already heard about some potential injuries today due to flash flooding. Some of this is due to people driving into high water. And it's really important to try to turn around if you see high water or water on roadways that are obviously not normally covered in water. It would be a good idea to make sure to not do that. The Weather Service has a saying that says, turn around, don't drown. That's a good idea in this situation, especially for all these flash flooding concerns stretching from about Coshocton to Zanesville, New Lexington, McConnellsville, Logan, Athens, MacArthur, down towards Jackson. All right, Cincinnati area, you are still under a flash flood warning that is going to run for another hour. I believe that runs until 6:45. Because 1 to 1.5 inches of rain have fallen with all of those thunderstorms. Plus, there's going to be a lot of wind damage in Cincinnati. There's going to be a lot of trees down and power outages down. We have a significant amount of power outages across the state. So, in fact, let me see if I can pull up those power outages for us here. I might have a map that I might be able to show you with those power outages because it's going to be significant. We had a lot of damage here. Living in the Columbus area, I've driven around town today doing various tasks for work and whatnot, and lots of trees down, lots of power outages in many portions of Columbus. I know that is the case in Cincinnati as well. All right, let's see if we can get our power outage map going. One sec to do that. I think my internet is going a little slower than normal today. I apologize if it's a little pixelated or fuzzy at times. I think that's just going to be the case across the state with many folks with internet outages. All right, I'm having trouble accessing it. Maybe our database is down at the time. Let's see, weather alerts. Let's try to find an alternate source here. All right. All right, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get Duke Energy's power outage map here for Cincinnati. And here we go. All right, I've got it on screen now. So this is actually from Duke Energy, and we can see where a lot of the power outages are in the Cincinnati metro area right now. So you can see anywhere where those blue polygons are, there have been reports of power outages, and it's everywhere. It's the entire metro area that has sporadic power outages. We have 10,000 people without power in the center of the city, so that stretches from downtown up towards Clifton. A lot of outages up in, it looks like there's a high concentration of outages along the Ronald Reagan Highway from, I want to say, Coleraine Township over toward Winton Woods. A lot of outages there. A lot of outages up near Forest Park. And then when you get to more rural areas in Whitewater and Coleraine Townships, a lot of outages there. And this is the Duke Energy map. Oh man, we've got tons of power outages in Claremont County down into northern Kentucky. So, I mean, I know it's almost futile to show this because, you either have power or you don't, and it's tough. I know a lot of people watch us through cell phones and other sources. Cell towers are probably down, so cell service is probably very spotty across the area as well. Let's check in with AEP. Let's see what power outages we have with AEP. This is going to be like your Columbus and Central Ohio power outages with AEP. And yeah, we've got a lot of outages reported. 1,000 outages in North Clintonville near Worthington. We've got 1,000 outages between Bexley and Whitehall. 1,000 outages out here in Hilliard. 835 in Dublin. Yeah, a lot. 1,000 outages out in Blacklick and Reynoldsburg. I know Reynoldsburg got hit really hard with power outages from those storms around 10 o'clock this morning. We have very large numbers of outages in Reynoldsburg. Very heavy wind damage there. It looks like we have 1,000 outages out in Newark. We have lots of heavy outage reporting down in Vinton County. We probably have a lot of folks in Vinton County with no power at all right now. So that's the situation there. And the primary areas that we have a lot of outages. So hopefully, if that's you, hopefully your power gets restored and that you are at least safe right now from the flash flooding. All right, why don't we switch gears back to this considerable severe thunderstorm that's moving through Ironton right now. So this is Ironton in Lawrence County. You are probably getting absolutely clobbered with 60-mile-per-hour wind right now. Very heavy rain, and there may even be a little bit of rotation over Ironton. I see a little bit of a hook here. Let's take a look at the velocity scan for this. Showing the wind. So we're going to need to switch to the Charleston, West Virginia radar. Okay, yeah, we have some very, very weak rotation. It looks like it's mostly a straight line wind event. With some very high wind in excess of 60 miles per hour. Moving, really, it's on the Kentucky side, but we do have a lot of high wind that's moved through Franklin Furnace. It's really straddling the Ohio River at this moment and going to be impacting Ironton here very, very soon. Why don't we check to see if we have any ODOT cameras in Ironton and see if we can get a visual on that. Let's leave this on my ODOT camera browser. Let's leave the Cincinnati metro. We'll check back with Cincinnati here in a second. But I do want to check in Ironton. It looks like we do have a camera there that we can check along US 52. So let's try to load that up. Woo! All right, let's put that on the screen. There we go. Wow. This is US 52 in Ironton. Wind is blowing across the highway. We're not getting a lot of data out of it because it's pretty windy, pretty wet. Boy, take careful down there right now, or take care, I should say. Take care is the correct thing to say, really here. Wow, I'm even still hearing rumbles of thunder here in Columbus with some light rain. It's been a crazy, crazy day across the Buckeye State. So if you're in Ironton, you're seeing this scene. Very high wind. We can see the trees getting tossed around. Hopefully not a lot of tree damage will come of this, but it certainly is possible. So we have to be very careful in this scenario. All right, let's turn the radar back on. Some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind going through Ironton right now. The good news is it does appear to be weakening, at least here on the Ohio side. So maybe we're looking at 50 to 60 mile per hour wind instead of 70. But we are getting an update from the Weather Service here. So I saw the little, I see the border of the warning that's blinking right now. Let's see what the warning says. All right, they're still saying tornado possible. This will run until 6:30. I don't think the threat will be in Ohio until 6:30. I think it's going to be leaving Ohio here in the next 20 minutes. But it will progress into Kentucky and still be a threat in Kentucky at 6:30. This covers a large, large area. And just to the south on the Kentucky side, more tornado warnings continue to be issued. There's a new tornado warning here in northern Kentucky for Boyd, Greenup, and Carter County until 5:45. Still a lot of rotation. This is south of Lawrence County, Ohio. This is south of Ironton and South Point. It's south of, and I should say it's east of Huntington, West Virginia. So there's no tornado threat in Lawrence County right now. That's on the Kentucky side. But there is still some very high wind that's going through Ironton, and we can see it on the ODOT camera. I'll go ahead and throw that back up again. Lots of high wind and heavy rain and a flood threat there as well. This ODOT camera coming to us from US 52 at State Route 93. The data is coming in pretty slow right now. Usually we get better image quality, but it's just, I think the cell towers and the internet is chugging right now because of the storms moving through. But at least we're able to get a visual here at US 52 at State Route 93 there, thanks to ODOT and their impressive camera network across the state. We can also take a look here. I'm going to switch back over to precipitation mode here, rain mode, and we can see all the very heavy rain that's inundating Ironton right now. South Point, it's about to be on top of you. Huntington, West Virginia, about to be on top of you as well. We have some very heavy rain, maybe even some small hail embedded in this near Willowwood and Scotttown. Also, we have a non-severe storm with some heavy rain and maybe some flooding potential up here near Point Pleasant and Gallipolis. This is going to be making driving around US 35 and US 52, West Virginia, State Route 2, very difficult. Lots of flash flooding going on in West Virginia. So that's going to be from Ravenswood down towards Charleston. A lot of flooding there as well. But the strong storm here in Lawrence County is still ongoing. The severe thunderstorm warning runs until 6:30. I don't believe the threat for Ohio will last that long. I think we're looking at another 15 to 20 minutes of wind threat with this before it leaves the state and heads into West Virginia and Kentucky. Kentucky's still having a very dangerous situation going on with a tornado warning here near Grayson, Kentucky. Very, very strong storms about to impact the Red River Gorge area of Kentucky. So if you know anyone who might be camping down there or enjoying that, it is going to be a very dangerous situation down in the gorge. Back towards Lexington, Kentucky, dangerous storms as well. All right, let's take a look at our future this evening. We are still looking at some dangerous storms across Indiana. We still have a tornado warning in western Indiana. Nowhere near us right now, and we also have some very strong thunderstorms and severe thunderstorm warnings with this cluster of storms as well. If it were to track toward Ohio, it would probably track toward the Cincinnati metro area again. Whether or not it holds together, I'm not entirely sure because we've used up a lot of today's energy, but we've just had so many instances of some dynamic energy entering our area that we could see some this storm cluster move through Cincinnati in a couple of hours and still be on the strong side. I don't think they're going to be as strong as the storms that came through earlier this afternoon, but we're going to really have to watch because this is still a very strong cluster of storms and it would be heading towards Cincinnati in the next couple of hours. So if you're in Cincinnati, don't let your guard down just yet. We still have a flash flood warning. We have a lull. It's not raining right now. That's good news. There's going to be a lot of debris, a lot of power outages. I anticipate a lot of people just don't have power and don't have a way to watch right now, which is unfortunate. But if you can watch and you can spread the word, we're still going to be wanting to keep an eye on this over the next couple of hours for the Cincinnati metro. All right, let's do big picture, and then we'll head back to Lawrence County. Columbus, just some light rain, which is good news. A lot of wind damage in the Columbus metro. Heavy rain still for Zanesville, Perry County, New Lexington, McConnellsville, heading into Washington, Noble, and Guernsey County. Athens County dealing with flash flooding issues. Vinton County with near MacArthur having a lot of heavy rain. There are instances of thunder and lightning, but there is no there's no wind threat with these storms. Anywhere in northern Ohio right now is looking pretty good. Just some light rain in northern Ohio. We do have some small thunderstorms stretching from Mesopotamia to Cortland up towards Chardon and Painesville. These are non-severe, no wind threat, just some heavy rain and maybe some lightning. That's about it. Really, the strong storm right now is this one here in Lawrence County. And I'm going to stick with this storm until it leaves Lawrence County, and then we'll probably end the live stream, regroup, and see if we need to do some coverage later this evening. But right now, that is the main storm. We had a comment that asked anything for Knox County. No, Knox County, you're just looking at some light rain, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder, and that's about it. All right, so an update on Lawrence County. Ironton now looks like the wind is probably calming down, but you're still dealing with some heavy rain. We also have some very heavy rain, maybe some small hail near Scotttown and State Route 775. So this is rapidly approaching South Point and Chesapeake and Huntington, West Virginia. So those are going to be some populated areas that's going to be impacting. Very heavy rain. We can see the leading edge of it. Let's switch over to velocity. And yeah, we're seeing pockets of 40 to 50 mile per hour wind. Wherever you see the bright green, that's about 40 mile per hour wind. Wherever you see the pockets of blue, now you're getting into the 50 mile per hour range. And maybe up to 60 miles per hour. So I'm not seeing a 70 mile per hour threat right now. But I am seeing maybe up to 60, which can cause damage. It can certainly knock trees down, loosen up some shingles, maybe some awnings. Weaker buildings could be damaged. So still significant. Not good for truckers, high-profile vehicles. So we still need to really be watching here in southern Lawrence County. Again, the main people impacted by this are going to be South Point and Chesapeake, Huntington, West Virginia, and some small towns like Getaway, Scotttown, Athalia along the Ohio River. It looks like things are getting better in Portsmouth. We can check back into Portsmouth here to see what's going on there. Looks like it's just some light rain in Portsmouth now. Down in Kentucky, though, Grayson, Kentucky, boy, there is a tornado threat there still. I'm kind of curious if a tornado is ongoing. I can turn on our debris tracker, and I don't see debris. Like I don't see a very like. I want to say. I don't know. There might be some debris lofting here near Grayson, Kentucky, meaning there could have been a tornado on the ground at some point. But I think that threat is weakening a little bit. So I'm hopeful for that. All right. But our coverage area, Gallipolis seeing some very heavy rain. Maybe even a flooding threat as it moves into West Virginia. Apple Grove, that's on the West Virginia side. Some very heavy rain, maybe even some small hail. South Point, the storm is now over you, so you're probably getting some very heavy rain and certainly some high wind. This will be pushing through Chesapeake and Huntington very, very soon. Let's see if we can get some cameras down near Huntington and Chesapeake. There are some ODOT cameras in the area. Looks like our stream dropped. All right. Anyone still with me here? Looks like our stream briefly dropped. We might be having some internet issues here. I think internet is tough to go by across the state today. With I'm fortunate to have power and internet at my house, but I'm wondering if just lots of lines down, lots of servers impacted. I know I'm watching my stream and it's fuzzy. I appreciate those who bared with me as we've tried to stream this afternoon. It's been tough out there. Way tougher for the folks who have experienced damage. So I won't complain. All right, so let's look at some cameras. This is US 52 at Burlington Macedonia Road down near South Point. It looks like just some heavy rain and some wind there. Looks like traffic is moving okay. That's good news. We have the camera here near Chesapeake. Looks like there's even a little bit of sunlight. Not much, but a little bit as this storm moves through. Wonder if we can get a camera over near Burlington. That's the one we already looked at. All right, what's going down here? Oh, okay, that's just people turning into Walmart. How about South Point? Okay, here we go. Here's the camera at South Point. Let's see if we can enlarge the view here. So it's windy and wet, but we're moving along just fine. So that's good. I think the wind threat from this storm is weakening as it moves toward Huntington and Chesapeake and Rome, Ohio, right there on the river. Looks like there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for the very southern tip of Gallia County, as that moves into West Virginia. So that is something to watch if you know anyone that might be along Eureka, Bladen. Very not a very populated area, but we might have a few folks that live there, so we certainly want to cover it. And then yeah, the storm is now pretty much over Chesapeake in Huntington now. So Huntington is getting slammed with this storm, including Chesapeake, South Point, some very heavy rain there. Rome, it's about to be on top of you. So wind damage up to 60 miles per hour, stretching up toward south of Gallipolis. Actually, it's getting better in Gallipolis now. So really just far southern Ohio. All right, why don't we just do one more big picture? We'll check in with the Huntington storm one more time, and then we'll probably end the stream here. And we'll regroup and see if we need more streaming coverage this evening if storms near Indiana hold together and impact Western Ohio. That's to be seen, because this is an impressive cluster of storms. It could hold together and impact Southwest Ohio, Cincinnati area again in the next hour, but a lot of our energy's been used up. That said, we could gain some of the energy back. If we get a little bit of sun over the next hour, we could see more energy. Of course, it's later in the day, so the sun won't be as intense, but we'll be looking out for it here. But we're going to be watching this. So still, if you're in Cincinnati, Hamilton, maybe even Dayton, Lebanon, over towards Wilmington, I would keep an eye still for the next couple of hours. There is still a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 p.m. That's exactly what a watch means, is to watch out. And I think 8 p.m. would be a good time to reanalyze the situation for this evening. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be watching that storm. And as we speak, they just issued a very large severe thunderstorm warning for that across a good chunk of Indiana from Greencastle down to Bloomington. And it's going to go for an hour. So this storm is still producing some very strong thunderstorms and could be still very dangerous. So, but I won't live track that one until it gets closer. But that said, the rest of the state's in a bit of a lull. Light rain for most. We do have some heavy showers up near the Cleveland area, Trumbull County, some thunderstorms, Chardon area, but nothing severe. We do have some heavy rain for Zanesville, Caldwell, Cambridge, Athens, Marietta, that could be contributing to flash flooding. This is a serious situation there, so southeastern Ohio could be dealing with flash flooding over the next couple of hours. So we want to remind folks to turn around, don't drown in that situation. And then we also have this severe thunderstorm moving through Huntington, South Point, Chesapeake, and Crown City right now. But that is quickly moving out. So that storm will be moving out very, very soon. All right, well, I think I'm going to end the stream here for now. We will regroup with the rest of our Ohio news and weather forecasting team to see if we need coverage later this evening. But for now, stay safe out there. If your power is out, our wonderful crews will hopefully get, not our crews personally, but crews with AEP, Duke Energy, so on and so forth, will be working hard to get that back on. You know, our hearts are with you on that. It's been a tough day, and a lot of folks are without power. So keep people in those people in your thoughts. Lend a hand if you can, and we'll talk to you guys